Alright, so we're back on the test server and we're checking out the new Boar. So the Boar got a pretty major change. It used to be before attack game +4/+2, but now it is a 7/7, and its ability is give the friends behind +1/+1 for every single empty space, including your opponents, which is something that I did not really expect and I just didn't understand about the Boar, but that's why it's actually not complete garbage. Because if you happen to have it into the second to last spot, then you will get, I guess that's 4 empty spaces because the boar is going to faint. And if the opponent also has 4 empty spaces, that's a solid +8/+8 at level 1, which would be +24/+24 at level 2. And I believe the way it works is that it gives it to all the pets, I think. So, like, if it's in the third to last spot, it would give both the stats, like, to the 2 pets behind, I think. I really should, like, actually know this before I say things out loud. But anyway, yeah, just throw the second round just to try to go as late game as possible. Tier 2, if you like Beluga Sturgeon, generally not that bad. Get a solid 2/3 that summons a 2/3. And the classic Rice Cake plus Chipmunk strat, hopefully, will just gain a bunch of gold. And although it did get nerfed, it is now you sell for 1 gold. So it's really not that good anymore because you're spending 3 gold and then you get to sell back the extra 2 gold, and then you have to spend 2 more gold to get 4 gold back. So it's like a net profit of very little, honestly. But you know what? It's still, like, I guess not that terrible. And I forgot about the balloon, so I wanted to put the beluga in front, but instead just randomly buffed a beaver. It's at least something to do so that once you get to turn 5, you can, like, sell and just get a bunch of gold and actually look for things that are maybe more significant. Because there's not that much on tier 2. Level 2 Beluga should be pretty nice. Okay, just gonna go ahead and double sell. Although maybe it wasn't worth doing that. Also, I did the order wrong. For some reason, I sold the beaver after. Could have wasted 1 attack there. But maybe it was worth it to just sell the chipmunk. I'm not really sure. Like, the hatching chick maybe is enough to win this round. Just kind of depends on the team. Ran into a bluebird one, and that's just gonna crush me. So, unfortunate there. But level 2 Beluga, so now the dolphins actually spawn with rice. So when you pill a Beluga, you actually get, like, some good value out of it because you can sell back for an extra 6 gold, which is pretty crazy because that's a huge investment that you just get immediately back. Now, I mean, it also is just a pretty nice unit to have, so I don't know if it's actually worth it. And also, I could just keep double dolphin because, like, that's good tempo. That's a solid 6 damage right there. So maybe I should go for that. But I wanted to use the buffalo triggers, and so I'll just go ahead and sell these guys right away. Owl is going to be a nice little synergy with buffalo because it gives a mouse, which you can immediately sell, and that's one of the sell pets. But really, the biggest, I think, difference, or the biggest thing you want is probably chinchillas, because they act as 2 sell pets, so that you actually don't have to buy sell too much stuff. So buffalo has a really good synergy with chinchilla right now. And yeah, as long as I just have a mouse or have an owl and then I just buy sell 1 chinchilla, I should be able to get the +2/+2 a turn. Still not going to be as good as the +3/+3 that it gets right now in the live server, but probably deserved a nerf because it was one of the better pets in the game. It was like, if you got early buffalo, you were just so far ahead. So that was just a huge advantage. Just looking for good buy sells, but besides, like, chinchilla, I guess there's really not much else. You can, like, buy sell beaver, I guess, if you really want to, but owl's no longer in this pack, so you can't really do that. I guess buy selling a ferret's alright. I could take a tennis ball or I could take a balloon. I highly doubt tennis ball is going to do anything at this point. It's not like there's any melons to pop or any peppers to pop, so just get the extra +1/+1. But then I end up buy selling a puppy, and I'll just take the free mango. That's +2/+3. That's much better. And just have a 13/13 with garlic. Should be pretty nice. Since we don't have to worry about skunk, but we do have to worry about tiny house, which is the tier 5 toy from Stingray. That can be kind of an issue because that's pretty much like a level 1 or slightly better than level 1 skunk. But I guess that's not, you don't have to worry about that until at least turn 7. So I guess it's pretty good to just have 1 big unit overall. It would be really nice to level up this owl. Level 2 owl is just really amazing. Then you start to get an extra 2 gold a turn, and you get an extra free 2/2. Ends up being quite a nice scaler. Go ahead and take the buffalo, and now when I combine, I believe it resets the triggers, so I can buy sell 3 things again, which means now it's time to sell the chipmunk, and hopefully I guess, yeah, I could just buy whatever and then give it rice. It's 4 gold, and then I also get 4 gold. No, I get 3 gold back. So it cost 1 gold overall. But I guess it'll be worth it just to get the buffalo. Although, wait, did I buy sell 3 times? I think I didn't do it enough. I don't really know what I'm doing. Okay, well, now just buy sell anything in the shop, I guess. Works out pretty well just because I have to run a 4 squad for the owl anyway. And maybe I should have given the rice to the owl instead so that I could sell that since it's only level 1. It could definitely go, even though it has such a nice synergy with Buffalo. There's also the dragon synergy, which is pretty good with Buffalo, so there's a couple things that really work out well with it. And that's going to be a loss. Unfortunate. That's a 1-2 going against a 2-2. Free mango this turn, and now there's level 2 Buffalo. I don't know if it's worth it to just buy sell beaver with Buffalo. Maybe. And early chicken. I mean, that seems great with Buffalo as well, but I don't think I want to go for a chicken run. I was planning on trying to show off the boar, so it probably wouldn't be a good showcase if everything's a 50-50 already and it just gives a bunch of useless stats. Alright, time to sell the hatching chicks, I guess. And there's +2/+2. I can take Stingray. Stingray is always going to be helpful, especially early Stingray. Get that flashlight. Actually going to be just a free 6/6, which is just so huge. But anyway, I feel like I've talked enough about Super Auto Pets. I mean, I guess it's time to bring back the random movies I've seen recently, because I watched The Invisible Man, which was a pretty decent horror movie starring Elizabeth Olsen. It was a lot more of a sci-fi movie than I thought of, like a horror movie, and especially like the second half. I feel like it goes more into like the thriller than rather like the horror suspense kind of thing. But I mean that's good. Like I feel like actually sometimes horror movies are just like too long and they try to be like scary for too long because a lot of times like you get used to it eventually, and if it's like a 2 or 3 hour movie it probably is not going to be scary the entire time, and I mean it probably shouldn't be either. But yeah, it was overall like pretty cool, I guess. I mean, I don't know how big of a spoiler it is, but it's literally in the title. It's called The Invisible Man, but you can probably guess like what they're doing based off of that title. But it would be an interesting like superpower if it was actually real to just be able to be invisible. It could definitely like be uh used in the wrong hands, I guess, and like be very bad, but I imagine that like if it was invented, surely well actually what would happen if someone could just become invisible? Would they like keep it to like only certain people? I don't really know how it would work because like it would be too dangerous for just the general public to have. Too much abuse. If people can abuse things, I'm sure they would. But there's the flashlight. Also, I kind of forget the lobster's buffing the mouse. Not that that's relevant whatsoever. But yeah, anyway, I gave that movie like a 3.5 out of 5. I feel weird even like rating movies, but just like a general idea of like how good it is, just in case like people ever go off my recommendations, which I doubt you would. But like, pretty solid stuff. All right, so it's boar time. First, buy, sell, chinchilla. Get the buffalo triggers. And now it's, yeah, so it's a 7/7. Give all friends behind +1/+1. So, like the optimal positioning for boar, it's going to depend. You probably want it in like the third spot so that it gives at least 2 pets. And then hopefully it kills enough things on the opponent's team where if there's like 4 things on the opponent's team that have fainted, then it would give +7/+7 to 2 pets, which would be +14/+14, which actually sounds pretty amazing for just like a tempo unit. Because compared to Mammoth only gives +8/+8. So in theory, Boar could actually give more stats. But that's like best case situation. Of course, he might not kill that many things on the opponent's team. So I guess at worst, though, if you put it in the third spots and you don't kill any of the units, you still get +3/+3 to 2 units, which is, I guess, kind of nice. And that's level 1, again. So if you level it up, the better it's going to be, as with most pets of the game. But go ahead and try to get this buffalo to 50-50. And I was trying to think of, like, what do you want to buff with the boar? Because, I mean, what has an ability that's actually based off scaling? And the answer is going to be lionfish, of course, because the more attack that it has, the more that it triggers. The only problem is that like I kept running into snipers kind of where it would just kill the lionfish in the back and then it wouldn't get any stats. But it kind of just like continuing to just roll, not really sure getting, I guess T-Rex will be okay. Not really. It gives +2/+1, but hey, that's a free 2/1. It's gonna be better than anything else. If this was a real run, perhaps Dragon would have been in order, so you could just get Dragon Buffalo. Although this guy's actually gonna be pretty 50-50 pretty quickly. Doberman, but they didn't. That wasn't actually their lowest unit, so that was just a free win right there. And yeah, I mean the extra 2 gold is just so nice. Owl is like, it's a pretty risky, just like, I don't know, scaler, because you have to run a 4 squad, and it's also just bad stats. But if you actually have a good squad, then you get like an extra 2 gold and a free 2/2 a turn, which is just quite nice. And now, I guess, do I sell the owl and just run another boar? Or I could just take level 3 boar. That'll work as well. And yeah, I guess that's what I'm going for. I should probably try to find this lionfish soon. I've been rolling quite a bit. Eventually, it's got to come. Maybe through this tier up. There's a lionfish, and yeah, so lionfish killing that, but I suppose that's not too much of an issue. You can just see how many stats it gave the T-Rex right there. All the way up to 23 attack, so pretty solid 15-15. Or, wait, 14-14. Yeah, I can do math, I promise. But level 3, and there's another boar. Go ahead and just give it a 2/2. I think, again, though, the optimal position, I think, is in the 3rd spot. I don't know. Maybe with this massive buffalo in front, it'll trade through a ton of things in the front, and then, like, the boar will give a ton of stats, because it will give stats to 3 things, which would be pretty amazing. And I did... Wait, did I actually need to sell that? I guess for the buffalo triggers. And now, since Melon can actually exist, I suppose having a tennis ball is actually kind of nice. They actually buffed tennis ball in the late game. So if you happen to have it, it could pop. I mean, it used one of the lemon triggers there. But the T-Rex dying, kind of unfortunate. Still gonna win, though. Got all the way up to 30. So that time it gave 21 stats. That's the power of level 3 boar. And level 2 boar into lionfish, which is absolutely perfect. I should probably just go lionfish in the back to gain maximum stats. And I should put the level 3 boar in the 3rd spot. But, you know, I'm still learning. This was the first time really experimenting with boar, and it worked out pretty well. But then again, I also have T-Rex lionfish, which is possibly, like, the best combo possible. The stonefish value, and then, yeah, there we go. The lionfish just wiped out my team. See, that's the issue of boar right there. Is that, like, I don't know, if the things in the bag die, what are you going to do? It's just a huge problem. But it's time. The triple boar. And more steak seems like the best equipment. Although, if like the boars are giving so many stats, I could probably take a melon. But this also will work. A honey in the back, so that all the lionfish triggers will hopefully kill the thing, and then the bee will just win. Kind of a scummy team, but it could work. And yeah, decent amount of stats there. Holy crap. Got all the way up to 41. So after that boar fainted, I'm sure it would have been 50 attack, which is just incredible. And more steak, why not? And now time to, I guess, I could go for level 2 boar, but I guess it's already getting to 50-50. And there's a mango to get to 50 HP, just to make sure it doesn't get one shot if it goes against another 50-50. And then trying to level up this lionfish. But that is a pretty strong team. Will I have enough stats? The skewer and a whole bunch of stats onto you, but the lionfish not quite enough damage. Even getting like... I don't know how much attack it had, but a pretty decent amount. I really need to just level up this lionfish, and then I feel like it will just be able to crush through whatever they have. I guess like a lemon and stuff can kind of prevent a decent amount of lionfish damage, but still, just rolling for this level up, please. Maybe I should take melon. I mean, again, I should switch the positioning. I think the level 3 boar should be in the 3rd spot. And then maybe I just give that level 3 boar melon, because it would get stats from like the level 2 boar. Just kind of depends. Microbe plus the tar for the splash attack. And the lionfish dies, but a whole bunch of stats, and the level 3 boar is actually going to help me out to win that round. So even if the lionfish died, still just gained so many stats. And a turn 17 win with boar. Kind of a fun unit, but also, I don't know, it's kind of interesting. I don't know how good it is, but thanks for watching. See ya.